Rajinikanth's look is, they're two separate looks. It's an age group thing. He goes through a couple of years. So we had to work with that. I had to really learn about veshtis and lungis and what is worn as a dhoti and what is worn as a lungi. And I thought I was quite together with that, but obviously not enough. But so that was really interesting. I have so many unforgettable memories with him. The fact that he calls me Niharika, first of all. He's always complimenting my energy. And I look at him and I'm like, how can you compliment my energy? Look at you. You're on set all the time. I'd done one shot and he saw a back shot of it. He hadn't seen it earlier. And he just, in the middle of everyone, he'll be like, Niharika, superb, Niharika, superb. Like, really excited about his look and stuff. That there's no taking away from that. You can do that once and then the person will work for you forever. It really is, because everyone knows the hardships you go through film, and everything is tough and everything is maybe last minute or everything is trying. And if somebody's upbeat and happy about it and bringing, that kind of sunshine to the set, then it's really exciting. And I have many, many stories of him and me, and I think every time he says something to you, you store it in your brain and you're like, oh my god, I'm going to say this again. But yeah, I have many, many of those times with him. So when you're working with Rajinikanth, which I finally figured, it's very, very secretive. I went and asked for a script and people like, oh no, we don't give you a script. And I was like, I can't work if I don't have a script. I think my biggest constant fight with everyone is like, look, I'm a professional, I know what I'm doing, you have to trust that. And they don't trust anything. So that becomes really difficult. So I had one of the associate directors narrate me the whole film. So I had a narration, and from there on, every time we did a costume or we did a character for the costume, we sat and discussed it. And there are different parts of the film. So, we had to change people's looks and check that out. So it was really interesting to be able to do that. Also, I didn't realize how everything is in Tamil. I'd ask a question in English and it'd be answered to me in Tamil. It was really like lost in translation. And I didn't know whether, it would work. So that was the issue. We did many look tests, we did many trials because I wanted to get it right. There's some directors who cannot imagine what it's going to look like. I always say that I'm giving you a reference point to start with. I'm not going to, and people are like, oh, just copy that. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to copy that. This is a reference to what it is. So then you have to put the actor into the reference costume to show them what it's exactly going to look like. And some people can't visualize it. Some people can. I can't draw it out, but I get it done. So that those are the tools that we use to help them. So we did a couple of look tests. We had a couple of. I had Alim came with me, which was really nice for 2 look tests because we had to do hair and stuff. But otherwise it was just trials. So we did a couple of trials with him, like 3-4 maybe through the film, and 2 major look tests. He has his inputs. There's some things like I'll always say, because he's very gentle and he doesn't want to hurt your feelings or something. So I have to constantly be like, sir, do you like this? Is this going to be okay? Should I put the pant up? I will always check with him. Yeah, he always said, stated, there was a time we were giving him some jewelry and he was like, no, I'm not as rich as the other guys, so, give me less. So, so there's always that discussion, which is interesting. I felt privileged and grateful that I worked with Rajinikanth sir. And it was really nice to have, just to have that experience under my belt. Yes, Nawazuddin Siddiqui, Sasikumar sir. It travels across, the ages because they have that time, and it's different. Like you said, there's the mix of North Indian versus South Indian. They are South Indians, but they do travel. And so we've tried to keep that feel in the film. But yeah, there is a variation, there changes. We've tried to do stuff different than maybe South Indian film has seen. Yeah, it's very different working in the industry where, you just feel like, what am I doing here? They don't know your work, they don't know your worth, and it's tough. It's tough to be on that side, when you've proven yourself for 12 years and then you're just like, oh no, I'm new here, I have to try it all over again. So it's all those things that become really difficult, which you don't realize. You totally don't get it. And that's it. But work is work, and I'd love to work with Rajinikanth again. So yeah, for sure. I loved him. I loved his crew. They were super helpful. They are, they just were there. His makeup person, Hanuman, was amazing. She really gave us insight. She really helped us into how to deal with it. There were times I'd be like, okay, what do I do? Should I go in? And she'd be like, no, go straight to him and talk to him. It's always lovely having people who will aid and assist and know the system. It was a 180-day shoot. Yeah, it was difficult. We were shooting in Darjeeling because we wanted winter, and there was a heat wave. So that was trying. There was, small places, and because we're shooting with Rajinikanth, we have to travel 2 hours out of town, even if we're in Varanasi, so that we don't get all the, crowds and traffic and craziness. So yeah, so those kinds of things are a little more difficult, but otherwise lovely. I just, you go in there and you go into his van and he smiles at you and your day is made. I'm serious. He has that charm and that effect on people where he's just, like I said, sunshine. You want to be there. I'm like, oh my God, I have a crush on him. I want to be here all the time because he's so lovely. So yes, I would definitely work with him again. In fact, I told him, I said, sir, even if your grandson wants a kurta, I'll come and do it. Whatever you do. I was chatting with Rajinikanth sir, and he turned around to me and he said, Niharika, what films have you done? I turned around to him at that point and made my truest confession, which is, sir, I've never seen any of your films. And he was like, Niharika, really? And I was like, I have never seen anything. I've never seen a Rajinikanth film. I love who he is. I know who he is. I love what he stands for. You hear all your stories, and now though I love him even more, and I don't get the time or liberty to watch films in theaters, so I really haven't. So when people are like, oh, did you see so-and-so film? And I'm like, no, if they come onto Netflix, I'll watch it. But Rajinikanth sir took us to see the motion poster, the motion picture that we were talking about that we had done. So that was super fun for me. And he was like, what do you think, Niharika? And I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. And like, I've seen clips, but I've never really seen anything. And so my biggest plan is, now that I'm stopping working and maybe I'll get a few days for Diwali, I'm going to watch something. There are very many similarities between Mr. Bachchan and Rajinikanth sir. It's amazing as to how professional and how easy it is to work with them. You expect to be working with superstars and having, tantrums and different things and people telling you, but it's not like that. Both of them are always punctual, on time, getting the work done, very pleasant. The one thing I absolutely loved about working with Rajinikanth sir was that, yes, he has his mood swings. He has, he'll come and he'll be like, oh, my pant is tight, or, I need to get this fixed or something. And you're like, yes, sir, I'll get it done. And he realizes that he's been harsh with you. And he'll always come and make it up to you, or say something funny, or come up to you and be like, oh, Niharika, now this is superb, something is, and it's really, so it's really encouraging to work when that happens. Farhan? for sure. Only because I like his style. It's the same, in keeping with what I do. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to answer that question because I look at things really differently. I love street style. I have numerous photographs of my Varanasi Lucknow trip where I've just taken people on the road because I think they're super stylish. So I have a very varied understanding. Sarah Jessica Parker. So it has to be a little more street, a little more off the wall and still stylish.